Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it may be, wherever you are. It is Happy Friday, TGIF for those who celebrate. It is Friday. It is May 29th. It is the last reading I'm going to do for the month of May. So we'll see what that turns into. In June, I will probably use a different deck just so that we get some things a little bit different. I do have kind of a collection. So without further ado, however, let's get to the card of today. Aha! The Queen of Swords. So we've talked a little bit about in the past few weeks with the minor arcana and the suits and what they represent and things of that nature. The Queen of Swords is, of course, a queen in the lower suits. So she is in the playing card deck, standard playing card deck. She would be represented by the Queen of Spades. Swords are spades, and you can read tarot with a standard deck of playing cards if you are in a whim. So queens are, as far as the rank goes in the standard playing card deck, which I've learned some interesting things about that, but I'll let you kind of research some of that so I don't go too tangent. Queens are typically kind of secondary to king. So, but they're still both very much up there on the cards, and they usually represent a person. So when you see a king, a queen, a knight, or a page come up in your readings, this typically has to do with an individual, whether it's the individual that you're reading for or an individual in that person's life. So with respect to the Queen of Swords, she is one of the more severe queens. She is not this sort of jovial queen of wands. She's not that nurturing queen of cups. She is the enforcer. This is the maternal figure who is very sure of herself, very strong, probably a little bit regimental in how she raises her children or people who she sees as her children, which in this case is kind of a lot of people. Queen of Swords is also typically an air sign. So she's going to be your Aquarius, your Libra, your Gemini, those type of characters in the zodiac. So when you look at the Queen of Swords and you see, oh, well, maybe she doesn't have as severe an attitude, but she's an air sign. Or she's not an air sign, but she has this energy of being very powerful. She's also always kind of looking for the future. This is a woman who plans and is strategic and makes her movements known. So this is not somebody who waffles on ideas, who is maybe this one day and maybe this another day. She is who she is. And she got there through some rather maybe trying means. A lot of times when this card comes up, you're going to have a woman who has probably seen some, she's seen some through her life. I'm trying not to swear, but it just happens sometimes. She understands justice. She understands loyalty because hers has been tested. She is not one who is going to give you her appreciation or her loyalty or her respect without having earned it. So you're going to work for it with her. She's also going to be a great teacher. This is a person who you're going to come across. Either it is, again, the person you're talking to, or it's someone in their life who's going to teach them things. And I can teach it the nice way. They're going to be a little hard with you, but they are going to teach you. I want to talk a little bit about the way this card looks and some of the things to look for in the queens. So this queen, you can see that she is an air sign. There is clearly a wind blowing behind her. Her hair is almost sticking straight out forward. So the wind is at her back. It's going to be a thing. I'm sure you've heard the wind is at your back. It's pushing you forward. So the wind is at her back. She's holding this sword very strongly, very vertical. This is a warrior queen. This is not your damsel in distress sort of queen or your queen who has tea and crumpets. This is a queen who kicks butt. Even her crown isn't really just a crown. It's not a tiara, really. It's almost a mantle, a helmet, if you will. And she's a Valkyrie sort of character. So she's got this knight-like helmet on her head. Her gaze is almost piercing. Even though she's not looking at you, you feel like, oh, she could look at me at any second, and it's not going to be good when she does. Her robe that she has on is fur. So again, to me, this kind of speaks of the Viking. It speaks of the Norse people. It speaks of strength and that kind of still hunter society that goes out and they kill their meat and things like that. Her gloves do look like they are made of cloth, but they cover her all the way up. She is not a queen who shows anything of herself. So I know it seems kind of weird to say that, oh, she's wearing gloves, so she's very, covered up. But she is. There isn't a single part of her other than her face, even all the way up to her neck. She has something covering. So all the way up, she's got something covering. She is protected. She is secure. She is shielded. And she is looking to the future. This is a battle queen. We'll not call her a battle axe. Apologies to those who are this card in spirit. I love this card. I think she's got a lot of power behind her. The rocks and things in the distance in the back also show a landscape that is kind of harsh. So she comes from a place that is not easy. She doesn't come from this beautiful garden kingdom. She doesn't come from an easy place to get by. It's craggy and it's dark and there's dark clouds and it looks cold. So she's had to fight for her survival. Going into kind of what that means a little more on that emotional and spiritual level rather than just the physical, though this is a very physical card because swords are very physical. You want to look for somebody who has seen some things. This is probably a woman who has been divorced. This is probably a woman who has fought for her survival a little bit. This is probably a woman that if she's in business, she is shrewd. She knows what she's talking about. She knows who to make friends with, and she doesn't mince words. She has had to work to break that glass ceiling, and she is not willing to fall afterwards. So with this, you're looking for somebody who has a lot of integrity and a lot of ingenuity because they've seen it, what happens when they don't apply those things. That's a lot about who this person is as a person. I want to talk a little bit more about kind of the energies of this card. So if you're not talking specifically about a person and you're more talking about, oh, well, the situation probably is going to be about this. You're going to be looking at a situation where there's probably rivalry of some kind. There's probably disloyalty of some kind, especially if it comes up inverted. There is probably a battle to be won. So all of those things that this queen is prepared for are the types of things you're going to be looking for situationally. When the situation comes up, it's going to be something where you have to act. You have to take an obvious physical action and do something about it. You can't sit back and wait for someone to rescue you. This is something where you have to actually do the work. And it may not be as detrimental and terrifying as you're in an abusive relationship and you need to get out. You have been filed divorce papers and now you've got to figure out what to do. You've lost your job and now you've got to do something. Or you've got a new job and it's a job that you maybe weren't quite ready for and now you've got to learn on your feet. Or it's a job that you are ready for, but you still have to prove yourself to one or two people. So look for those kinds of things in each of the aspects of life. You're going to have a fight on your hands. She's also a great ally. So when you're looking at a situation, look for the allies. In a broader reading, look for the people, the places, the situations that offer alliances to the person asking the question. This is going to be the key point in this card. You are not alone. No matter what, it's going to be a struggle, but you're also not on your own. You have allies, you have friends, you have people who will fight for you. This chick in particular will fight for you. I think we mentioned before some of the higher arcana cards, they're either the ones that are going to throw punches or they're the ones that are going to kind of be diplomatic. She's going to throw down. This is the mama bear. So if you look at his card and the first thing that comes to your mind is the mama bear, the warrior queen, that's what you should be thinking of. So I hope that gave you a little bit of insight. I'm actually really happy that this is the last card that I got out of this deck because she's such a beautiful queen and she's such a beautiful energy too. It's a great way to end the month and a great way to kind of look ahead into the next month. So if you're interested in more and you would like a lesson, please check out my website in the description. That'll help you find a way to make an appointment with me for lessons. It'll also help you make an appointment if you want to have a reading, something a little more than one card, something maybe half hour long usually is how I go. And if you're really interested and you're a big time reader and you like technology and you like the metaphysical, please check out my new book written with Bob Frank. It's called Cloud to Cloud, and it is science fiction and it touches on the metaphysical. There's a little bit of like some intrigue and Illuminati kind of stuff going on with it too. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you check it out. The link is in the description as well. You can find it on Amazon, and I will see you in June. Have a wonderful weekend.